number of times since I've been here that we have redone the school formula is legion. And one of my favorites was done in 1980. It was called the equal yield formula, and I had a rural superintendent who was a dear friend of mine, and he called me up and he'd done the numbers. And he said, the only problem with this equal yield formula is it ain't equal and it don't yield. And indeed, he was right. Everybody backed off of it within about a year and a half. And this is something that has gone on and on right from the beginning of the common school of the state of Ohio. The governor has put in a tremendous amount of time himself and has people around him working constantly to try to come to a proposal which would allow people the option of choice, but also would strengthen the classroom operation of the schools. It's been my privilege to work with the Mayor of Cleveland on his proposal. I call it the Jackson Plan because he has come forward and really had some very, very substantive ideas. I think we want to hold hearings that will allow us to look at both suggestions and others as well. And it is always a very, very big challenge. Our goal in our caucus has been to get more money into the classroom, and the governor discussed that earlier. And I think that's exactly correct. But how that will come out, given the multiplicity of options, is still mysterious.
In terms of what I would look for, I want a formula that is going to be fair and it's going to strengthen our public education system. Even though I am a product of the parochial schools, we have 3 children, 2 of whom went to parochial schools, 1 of whom went to a public school, because those were the best options for them. And I think it's important that parents have choice, but we have a fundamental responsibility, and I believe we need to strengthen the public education system. And so I'm looking for a plan that will do that, provide more certainty for school districts so that they know what their finances will be and that they can make plans that will provide the best services to educate children. And I agree with some of the governor's comments that I heard. I did not hear all of his comments, but the ones that I heard earlier, that we need to get money in the classroom. And the more that we can do to provide the services, the students and teachers, get the money in the classroom, I'm going to be very supportive of that effort.
In my view, I think we need to take a completely different approach. And what I would suggest to the governor and to the president and to the speaker is we look at what result are we trying to achieve for the students in Ohio. And by that, I mean we want our kids, or at least we say oftentimes, that we want our kids to be competitive both in the state of Ohio, nationally, and internationally. And so if we're going to create kids that can compete on that level, is the school system or the school funding mechanisms that we have now designed to reach those results? Well, I won't provide you with my opinion about that, but I'll just tell you what university presidents tell us in the Senate Finance Committee. They tell us that most Ohio students are not prepared for university level work. Well, that suggests to me that they're not ready to be competitive on a state, national, or international level. So something needs to be completely redone with the Ohio funding system and what we're trying to do. Senator Sawyer and my caucus has a number of very interesting ideas and very good bills, and hopefully his ideas will get further exposure and examination in the Senate and Education Committee. And so I just hope that we can get serious about the outcomes that we want for our kids, because we're competing on a global stage and our kids have to be ready for that.
I think the first step in anything we do with education is to renew the respect and appreciation for our teachers in this state. I think terrible damage has been done this past year with Senate Bill 5, Issue 2, where teachers were painted as, as lazy, people who were getting paid too much for working short days. It's simply not true, and I think that the damage will cause our kids, as they go through the system, to think twice about becoming teachers or staying in Ohio. We need to recognize the important role that teachers play. I can imagine that every person at this table can talk about a teacher or two or three that they had that had a big impact on their lives. We need to show that respect to our teachers around the state. And I agree with the comments, we need more money in the classroom. Cutting $2 billion in this past budget does not put more money in the classroom. Having the governor's education director talk about class sizes of 40 or 50 or more it's absurd. Had Governor Strickland cut $2 billion from education, Republicans would have been all over him. The fact is that there's been terrible harm done to education in this state over the last year, and that needs to change.
And just a quick follow-up.